Kyle, I imagine you're in a pretty good place right now after Tuesday.
Yeah, you obviously try not to get too high with the highs or too low with the lows, but I'm enjoying being back first and foremost, and then obviously we've had 2 wins from 2, so it's been a great start. And from where I was, obviously, over the last 16 months, it's just great to be back.
You obviously worked so hard, and getting back on that pitch is one thing against Coventry back at home, but then to come on and score against Crawley, I mean, that must be an entirely different feeling in so many ways.
Yeah, it's sort of everything's still new. Obviously, playing your first game, you come to terms with that, and then it was the first competitive game, and then it was sort of the first game where I was coming on and we were behind. So it's been 3 very different games, 3 very different challenges, but yeah, I'm loving every minute of it really, and just being back outside with the boys has been great. And then obviously, yeah, to help the team was great, and it's just important that I'm doing everything I can in my role and making sure that we're successful this season.
I mean, we've spoken plenty about the injury, and I don't think it's something we really need to go over again. But we saw on Tuesday, you're throwing yourself straight into challenges, which is of course what you've got to do. But in the back of your mind, is there anything thinking, oh, what if this goes wrong? What if I've hurt myself again? After everything you've been through?
I think you maybe think about it more when you're not playing. When you come on, we're naturally trained to just focus. So I don't find it too hard in games, and it's not really in the back of my mind too much. I think maybe in training over the first few weeks, there's obviously certain moments, and then unfortunately in the game the other day, I think it was Gabe who went down. So I mean, it's part and parcel of football. Unfortunately, that's the way it is, and there will be injuries, but I think it's just about focusing on what you can control, and that's obviously performances and working hard day in, day out, and just trusting the process in a way. So.
And since your return, you've had so much support, not just from the manager and your teammates, but from the supporters as well. It was such a loud cheer on Tuesday when you scored.
Yeah, I think some fans probably don't know who I am yet, so it was nice to get on the score sheet, and yeah, hopefully in the coming weeks I can contribute some more.
Gary said on Tuesday about how important you'll be to this team this season. And I guess for him, you're like a new signing. Bear in mind that obviously when he came in, you were out, so he's only sort of just seeing you in the first few in pre-season.
Yeah.
As a player and what you're all about.
Yeah, it was strange. I've obviously been here. Well, I think this will be my 3rd season, so it was almost a strange feeling coming in pre-season and almost feeling like you're on trial and you've got something to prove. But in a way, I think as a footballer, it's the same for every player. Whether you've just signed, whether you've been here for a long time, every season you're coming in and you do have something to prove. Obviously, there's a team of 11 that goes out and plays, but we're all part of something probably a lot bigger than that. And all the way through players to staff, I think we've got a really good group in terms of the ones who aren't playing are trying to provide as much competition and an environment where we can be successful. And yeah, it's just great to be back and be a part of that, rather than feeling like I was sat on the sidelines watching. So yeah, long may it continue.
You mentioned competition there. There is such strong competition in that midfield attacking area. It must be really good working with players from both ends of the spectrum, like Tom Carroll, who's been in the Premier League, and players like Ryan Trevor, who's just starting out his career.
Yeah, I think it's important to have a mix wherever you are of obviously younger boys that bring the energy a lot of the time, and then we've obviously got some older lads that bring that experience, and I'm kind of coming up to probably somewhere in the middle now, which has obviously felt strange because I felt like I almost lost sort of near enough a year and a half of football. So it's obviously I'm coming up to that age now where I feel more experienced in an environment, but obviously it's important for me to actually get the games as well to back that up. So yeah, hopefully in the next few weeks and over the course of this season, I can contribute as much as I can, and hopefully we can have a good season.
2 wins from 2 with 2 very good performances, but Blackpool are a side who came down from the Championship last season and will have aspirations of going straight back there. It's probably the toughest game of the 3 you've had so far.
Yeah, I think so, and obviously each game's going to be different, so we're full focus towards Saturday now. Saturday and Tuesday obviously were great wins, but they're in the back of our minds now. We obviously know that what we need to do to perform at our best, and I think obviously we'll focus on what we can do to beat Blackpool, but I think more importantly it's about focusing on our process and how we're going to go and win that game.
You'd imagine the supporters after 2 wins probably have an expectation now that, you know, they need to play how they have in the last 2 games. It's probably about managing that as a team, isn't it? And doing the best you can, even if you don't necessarily match where the supporters might think we are.
Yeah, I think it's always a difficult one. I think obviously sitting on the sidelines, it's very different. You watch as a supporter, so you always have a different view on it. But when you're actually playing, and I'm sure the manager's obviously involved every game, we just need to focus on where we're at. We're obviously not getting ahead of ourselves, and Saturday's just a new challenge, which it will be every weekend. There's a lot of games this season, and obviously all we can control is our process, and then if we play well and we do what we're good at, I'm sure 3 points can follow.
And whether it be this weekend or in games coming up, you're eyeing that start soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, of course, we're managing minutes, and sometimes it's not always in my control, so I'll do as much as I can out on the training pitch, and then when called upon, I'll bring my best game on a Saturday. But yeah, even when I'm not playing, I'll be supporting the boys anyway, and as I said, we've got a long season, and I think everyone here wants to be successful, so hopefully it's the best season yet.